Chaos is deepening inside Israel as anger at Prime Minister Netanyahu grows, with many Israelis blaming him for pushing the country into a war that is now triggering parallel food and energy crises at home. Reports say Netanyahu has effectively locked residents of northern towns into a siege-like reality, keeping them under tight restrictions even as the war with Hezbollah grinds on just across the border. Hezbollah, for its part, has launched around 40 to 43 attacks in a single 24-hour period, hammering Israeli positions with rockets, drones, and guided missiles and leaving multiple soldiers dead or wounded. At the same time, Israelis now find themselves increasingly trapped between Hezbollah's fire and Iran's broader strategy, as Tehran targets energy and food-linked infrastructure in what analysts describe as a bid to fuel a deeper supply crisis and potential starvation fears. Food and energy prices in Israel have surged sharply, triggering widespread public anxiety as households struggle to cope with higher living costs in the middle of a regional war. There is growing unease as the Iran conflict grinds on and Tehran's regional proxies, including Hezbollah, intensify their involvement along Israel's northern front. Despite the uptick in Hezbollah attacks, reports say many Israelis living in vulnerable northern areas have not been allowed to fully evacuate, deepening frustration and fear. An Iranian outlet, Press TV, reported on March 30th that instability inside Israel is rising, highlighting protests, anger at the government, and mounting concern over the war's domestic fallout. Hezbollah has claimed dozens of attacks within a 24-hour period around this time, with some reports citing figures of over 30 strikes in a single day, using rockets, drones, and artillery against Israeli military sites. Israel, for its part, has confirmed that several soldiers have been killed and others wounded in recent Hezbollah operations, underscoring the escalating costs on the northern front. All of this has fed a sense of instability, unease, and rising anger toward the Israeli government, as many citizens worry that the combination of infrastructure attacks and rising prices could tip the country toward a deeper food crisis. Iranian missiles have caused fresh havoc at a key Israeli industrial site as the war grinds into its fifth week, underscoring how critical infrastructure is increasingly in the crosshairs. Israeli pesticides maker Adama said debris from an Iranian missile strike had damaged crucial infrastructure at its Makdashim plant in southern Israel. The company reported that a warehouse holding finished products, along with production equipment and essential systems, had been hit in the incident. The damage at the pesticide facility was detailed in a March 30th report, which highlighted the growing impact of missile and shrapnel strikes on Israel's industrial base. Adama, which produces crop protection materials and is part of the Chinese-owned Syngenta Group, said no injuries were reported, though the full extent of the damage is still being assessed. The company, in a statement to the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange said, quote, efforts are underway to resume normal operations in a gradual and safe manner as soon as possible. The company is assessing the impact on its operations and financial results, as well as the expected timeline for restoring the affected facilities to full operation, unquote. Iranian missile strikes on an Israeli pesticides factory came soon after Tehran hit the key port city of Haifa, signaling a broader campaign against critical economic infrastructure. Haifa's port is central to Israel's food security and, according to prior reporting, handled roughly 75% of the country's food imports in 2023, making any disruption there especially alarming. The city was targeted by Iran in what it described as its 33rd wave of missile and drone attacks on March 10th, underscoring how frequently this strategic hub has come under fire as the war has escalated.
25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.